Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to this panel called Bootstrapping Liquidity in Local Markets. I'm happy to be here with these amazing people building on Celo. That they actually are doing some remarkable stuff in the market in each country. So I hope we can learn a bit of what they are their solution in their countries, and you can have a perspective about what they are doing on Celo, right? So I really want to introduce myself first. My name is David Riascos. I'm a Colombia ecosystem lead at the Celo Foundation. And one of my goals is to develop an ecosystem in Colombia, but also in other countries in Latin America. Right, I would love to let the panelists introduce themselves. So let's talk with the Bitmama.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Ruth Iselema, and I'm the CEO and co-founder at Bitmama.
Hello, everybody. My name is Oyedeji Oluwoye, and I'm the co-founder of Canza Finance.
Hello, everybody. My name is Guillermo Goncalvez. I'm from Venezuela, and I'm the founder of Eldorado.io.
Okay, so welcome and thank you for introducing yourself. We are going to start with a simple question. I would love to know a little bit about your solutions, right? So let's start from here. Guillermo, you are from Eldorado. What is Eldorado trying to solve?
Yeah, perfect. So Eldorado is a peer-to-peer marketplace for buying and selling Celo dollars and Celo euros with Latin America's most popular payment methods. So we offer on and off ramps for companies like Coco Mercado, organizations like Impact Market, and we provide these services by aligning a network of OTC traders that do arbitrage operations and bring liquidity into the platform. So in this way, people are able to exchange their local inflationary currencies for stablecoins in the Celo ecosystem.
Amazing. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So Canza Finance is a project and a company that works with connecting traditional finance and decentralized finance together. So we utilize currency exchange agents on the grounds, so traditionally melons from the northern part of Nigeria, and then we use the cash to liquidity aspect for them changing different currencies from Naira to different other assets, and then we connect that with stable coins and peer-to-peer marketplaces and OTC traders.
Amazing.
All right. So at Bitmama, we're a hybrid of an exchange and a crypto neobank. So we also provide on and off ramps for people that want to do that in Nigeria, Ghana, and Kenya. And also, one interesting thing we did recently was to introduce crypto debit cards. It's virtual now, and many people are using it to be able to purchase things online or other things online. And we hope to also introduce physical crypto cards too.
Amazing.
Yeah, you can fund them with CUSD, basically.
Amazing. And in which country are you working right now?
Nigeria, Ghana, and Kenya.
Nigeria, Ghana, and Kenya. And in Canza Finance?
Yes, within Nigeria, and then new entities in Ivory Coast and Cameroon.
Amazing. Eldorado.
We're in Venezuela, Colombia, and Argentina.
Okay, amazing. So I also want to try to ask you about why Celo, right? Why do you pick Celo in terms of what is that Celo has that actually you like, that you want to build on it? Now let's go, Ruth.
Okay. So first of all, it's cheaper fees, right? Yeah, that was what everyone loved about it. And it's fast, it's scalable, right? And we also love the fact that Celo was already on proof of stake compared to waiting for Ethereum to get to ETH 2.0. So something is already here, right? Why wait for the rest? So that was why Celo for us.
Amazing.
Why Celo for me was, I traditionally come from a network engineering background. So understanding the utilization of mobile phone numbers to impact emerging markets was the quickest way to understand how to get to end users and last mile users using mobile phone numbers for identity aspects. So that was the majority reason in the beginning. And then from there, obviously the community, understanding the different aspects in the mission, it truly aligns with what I see in these different villages and the different parts of the world.
Amazing, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I'll start with the mission alignment. The idea of creating financial tools that bring prosperity for everyone. And I'll also add the technical aspect that you can also use Celo stablecoins and Celo transactions to pay with ERC20 tokens. And this is something misunderstood in the broader stablecoin ecosystem. And this is something that I believe it's pretty valuable in Celo as a financial infrastructure, because it allows you to build fintech applications on top of it, and you don't have to make it more complicated for users. So in other cases, they have to pay in one currency, and they have to pay gas fees in another completely different currency. So that's a pretty good reason to use Celo as well.
Okay, amazing, amazing. So we are going to start a little bit like with the question about liquidity. So what are the most important factors driving liquidity in emerging markets? What do you think is the most important thing, like trying to driving liquidity? Who wants to go first?
Okay, I think I'll go first. So first of all, we will talk about community, right? Education, people getting to know about the project, right? One very important thing for us is that ever since we joined the Cello community, what we've tried our best to do is also try to inform others about Cello, how it works, why it's better. So if people just hear about Cello and they don't really know what to do with it, at the end of the day, that's not going to drive liquidity or drive market adoption. Yeah.
Amazing.
So my brain, I see a lot of things, especially in the last couple of months since we've been ramping up. But we see that there's a lot of fundamental challenges with US dollar shortages, central banks not having enough capital to help facilitate foreign exchange transactions. So introducing stablecoins as an alternative option for that really helps to facilitate different business activities and procedures much faster. So we see that's where we're utilizing CUSD in the background to help facilitate different on-chain and off-chain different transactions for companies to pay outside the country.
Okay, amazing.
So our case is particularly special because Venezuela is probably the only country dealing with hyperinflation right now at this moment. It's been one of the longest hyperinflation periods in history. Liquidity comes by necessity in this particular case. Imagine you are a store owner in Venezuela and you're producing bolivars or local currency on a daily basis. At the end of the day, inflation goes so fast that you're going to be losing potentially up to 50% of your income because of inflation. So in this case, liquidity is interesting because it comes as a form as a hedge for inflation. So people go to peer-to-peer marketplaces to acquire US dollars as a form to protect their wealth. And the second aspect that I would also mention remittances. We have a massive diaspora of more than 6 million people, 6 million Venezuelans in the Latin American region. So that brings a lot of inflows in terms of remittances, and that's also a big part of the liquidity we are seeing in the peer-to-peer platforms in these countries we operate now.
Amazing. I just remember, I think I was having a conversation with you, and you mentioned that, I don't know if it was you, you said okay, in Venezuela you actually have dollars, right? But you can't put I don't know, an arepa, right? To $2.50 because there are not these 50 cents in the market, right? So this is kind of like a interest point in order to address because you're having this kind of issue like in the fiat currency. So we're like super interested to know this part because like people in Venezuela actually needs this dollar, but it's not the currency there, right? So they need like kind of different kind of tools in order to like interact with each other, right? And now that we are starting to talk about the problems that we are facing, at least you are facing in liquidity, we'd love to know a little bit more about the regulation on aspects. What are you facing? Is there a lot of trouble? Do you think, how is your markets right now? Are you facing strong regulations? Or could you paint a picture about how is your markets doing in terms of regulation? What are the challenge that you are facing? So we'd love to start, like, what do you think about that, Ruth?
Okay. Definitely, like for us from Nigeria, right? Our central bank came in some years back and was like, we don't want you getting involved with the official, like the banks. So everyone basically went back to P2P, right? Some platforms even had to shut down. So, but we are here. One way that we get to talk to the government is that, look, this is not something bad, and it would be nice if you get to regulate us. We are not trying to do money laundering, or people are not trying to do something bad with this, right? This is like the future, and this is where everything is going. So, but after a while, we saw that they were kind of accommodating, sorry, and that was where Nigeria also launched their own first CDC in Africa, which is the e-Naira. So we see some kind of pathway where they are now understanding, okay, this is this, and we want to do like our own pilot project and see how it works first before we then go back to the table and say, okay, this is how we're going to regulate this. So I definitely think regulation is coming somewhere along the line, and they've been talking a lot about it, so we should see it very soon. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And one of the question that I have, like, so Nigeria has a lot of, like, as you mentioned, regulation, but I read an article like a couple of months ago that said like the remittances were like changed drastically to crypto.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember exactly how much was it because what.
Yeah.
But I would love to maybe one of you like want to explore a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Like how was that process? Could you exactly remember the exactly amount?
Yeah.
And maybe paint some pictures about like, yeah, because I remember, I'm not gonna lie, because I don't know, but like 80, 90% or something like that was like shocking.
Yeah.
How like entire country,
Exactly.
like you have like 200 million people within the country using now crypto. How was that process?
Yeah, I could touch on it. I could touch on it. So I think that was a chain analysis article, potentially. So with 200 million people, you have so many different still businesses that still need to do a large amount of transactions, even though you have limits. That I think that at one point it was 10,000 and then 20,000 per month. So even as a business, you have all these different small hurdles that you see that's very fractured towards what we see on the West. So then you still had to do business, right? Like companies not just, countries not going to collapse just because of I can't buy my goods from Turkey, I can't buy my personal goods from Argentina or things like that. So you had to still go to your peer-to-peer networks and utilize traditional money transfer networks that exist, you know, pre-crypto and in the traditional world before all these new like Western Union and different other aspects like that. So you go back to what you know from if you're in a village or if you're outside the main city, you still had different ways, and that's what happened. So then if you replace that aspect with digital assets, that's what, you know, assisted that spike that you see.
Amazing. Yeah, I was like super happy for the Nigerian ecosystem because it's like even there is regulation, people still have some problems and they just have the solution in their hands, right?
Yeah.
And they're not going to let like these kind of challenges like overwhelm them, and they need to like give some money. They need to like share some value, and I always said this a lot of times. Like there's an article that says if you increase the remittances just 1%, it will decrease the 60% of the extreme poverty. So this kind of like the ways that we move a little bit faster is going to have an impact in people. And when I read this, like yeah, like a huge increase of like this the remittances in Nigeria, was like yeah, amazing. This is what crypto is meant for. So. Yeah, so do you have like a comments on regulation? Do you want to explore a little bit more about?
I think Bitmama touched on it perfectly. But with that, I think the high cell phone adoption within those markets and those countries on that side of the world is like literally much more than what we see and read. Like everyone literally has a cell phone and utilizing that to get access to different fintech technologies and products. That's what's like spiking all these new innovations.
Yeah. What about you, Guillermo? How is your country, what are you facing in terms of regulation? Now that you are like in Venezuela trying to get into Colombia and other countries, let us know.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Latin American regulators
Yeah.
and Latin American corrupt governments, but I definitely can say that it's interesting the work that some startups are doing in the peer-to-peer space. Particularly because we have such a fragmented financial ecosystem. The guys here in the room from Colombia or from Argentina, you know it's nearly impossible to send money from my bank account in Venezuela for a bank account in Colombia and then from Colombia to Argentina and from Argentina to Costa Rica. That's nearly impossible in Latin America, and it's the same in Africa as well. So my point with this is that we definitely need to leverage on technologies and particularly peer-to-peer marketplaces, peer-to-peer crypto technologies in order to build these bridges to have a more united financial ecosystem where we can allow commerce and finance to flourish in a way that hasn't been seen before in our region. So that's probably my take on this issue.
Okay, thank you. Like a random question, like for example, each of you have just one wish in terms of like allow your company to do whatever you want in terms of liquidity. What that wish is? What do you think about that, Ruth? If you have just one wish and you say, okay, I really want this happening with Bitmama, that would be.
I think you need to ask it like properly, so I know what to wish for. So one wish, you mean in terms of volume? Okay. Do you mean in terms of volume or in terms of?
Like in terms of like, okay, you have a Bitmama has a big dream, a big mission, right? If you have just one wish, that what wish could be like, what do you want to Bitmama would be?
Okay. I would like us to be one of the market leaders in the crypto space, not just in Africa, but like across the world too. I think that's the wish. Yeah.
It would be also like take down the regulation or something.
Yes. At least we'll be able to get into the rooms and kind of have difficult discussions about these things and try to see where we could help or even make it better. Yeah.
What about you?
In the realm of maybe with the assist adoption, I'll have all of like our broker dealers and OTC traders to take CUSD. I think that will assist much more and bring much more traffic towards the network, as well as take over USDT, because I see that on the ground USDT was first mover's advantage, but CUSD has much more like different advantages, aspects for speed and fees that we've talked about. So if all the broker dealers and OTC traders took CUSD as the settlement aspect, we'll be number one right now. So.
Yeah.
Amazing, thank you. What about you, Guillermo?
So I guess that my wish would be for all people living in emerging economies to change their mindset towards living in a multi-currency world. I believe this is particularly important because we're now getting to a point where we already have the technology to provide financial alternatives to the ones that never had it before. And I'm going to just share a personal story. That is that in my country, Venezuela, because of hyperinflation that was completely caused by government mismanagement, 6 million people out of 30 million people were forced to leave the country. And this was basically because they only had a Bolivar bank account. I mean, it was, by then, having US dollars was illegal. And I think that this concept is like very archaic. I believe that if we have the technology and we can foster the cultural change and the cultural mindset, we should, in 10 years from now, it's going to be pretty clear for us that we all should live in a multi-currency world.
Amazing, thank you. Maybe just closing a little bit our panel. The last question would be like, are stablecoins better for liquidity driving in emerging markets, or rather governance tokens like Celo and BTC? What do you think is your perception on that? Let's start like right here.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, stablecoins are a better alternative for as a hedge mechanism because it really allows you to set apart the money you want to have by the end of the day. I believe it gives so much more dynamism to markets because you can predict the price of some stuff. So in currency markets, that's pretty useful, and in like e-commerce, that's also pretty useful. So I think overall, like operating with stablecoins brings lots of alternatives. So yeah, that's basically my take on that.
I think stablecoins is a very good product towards like these different regions of the world because it just gives you access much faster. I think we're seeing a lot of like attention or traction from asset managers that want to get in, so understanding the hedging aspects that my friend's talking about right here. But then also it just assists with deal flow much faster. It bypasses the offshore, onshore, the traditional banking fractured aspects of the paperwork that needs to be in this account over here, and then it takes, what, 3, 4, 5 days just to settle. So I think all of these different agent banking networks and decentralized finance type of, what is it called? Like hub and spoke type of models of, I need to run over here to cash, change cash to this, to different asset. If they all took on digital assets and stable coins as a replacement, CUSD, USDT, or any other asset of their choice, even I've seen an OTC trader talk about USDT on Tron. So like you see all these different aspects where they want to have access to stable coins, and I think we'll see way more different traffic towards like utility on blockchains and different products of that nature.
Yeah. Okay. So for driving market liquidity, stable coins are good, right? So, but I think governance tokens still are also good because like the first thing everybody got to know about was like Bitcoin, right? So, and people love the fact that if they buy Bitcoin today and it goes up, like they've made more money, then that's when they go to stable coins to hedge whatever money they made. But if it goes down, oh, they're sad and they have to wait for a very long time before they make the money back. So both ways it works, but it's kind of, you just need to have like a mix for it. For traders, like I said, and hedge funds, right? The stable coin definitely, because maybe people that are doing trade finance, they need to buy things, sell things. I need my stable value. But if it's in the case of investing and long-term investing, okay, I'm going to go with the governance tokens, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for like having this debate with us. I would love to open the mic for questions. So, yeah. So, could we? Yeah.
Hi. I was wondering about your wallets, if they are Web3 wallets or are they custodial wallets?
Okay.
Which?
All of us.
Each of it.
Ah.
So it's a question like with one of you, I guess. So
Yeah, so ours is custodial. Reason why it's not yet Web3 or decentralized is because like I mentioned the first time, based on education, right? Many people don't know how to still store their private keys and the rest. So we're still taking that education line to let people know how to store these keys, how to use a MetaMask or on EtherConnect or wallet. So for now, it's kind of custodial mainly. Yeah.
Yeah, similar to Ruth, we've seen a lot of hybrid aspects. So when we look at like large remote farmers in like Calabar, different remote villages, the education overlay still needs to be placed. So we've seen with the mobile phone numbers that some type of aspects they use a custodial because we're doing agricultural loans weekly, and then with like different institutional aspects, that's a custodial aspect in the background.
Yeah, in our case, we're custodial. There are mainly two reasons for that. One is that the UX experience in places like Latin America still needs a learning curve in order to onboard millions of users. And the second one is because we are a peer-to-peer marketplace, we need to do an escrow, and we need to make sure that the two parties, when agree on some deal, actually execute it. And we need to have some control in order to increase the number of successful trades in the platform. But we're definitely looking a lot into Web3. We're already integrating some aspects like savings accounts powered by DeFi protocols and so on. And yeah, definitely in the future, we're looking forward to also launching our own Web3 wallet as well.
Yeah, I also like want to say something. Is like at least in Latin American markets, educational is a little bit hard, right? So like having an custodial wallet sometimes is a little bit better to like get the customer know about what is crypto and the benefits of it. And after that, like if you have like kind of that settled first, after that it will be easier. For example, here is like a wallet that is called Cobru. It's from Colombia. They are like building this kind of custodial wallets to exchange Celo dollars. Cobru, could you just read it? So these guys are like creating some good stuff, and in terms of Celo dollars, exchange Celo dollars into Colombian peso. So they may create a stable, a custodial wallet. Super interesting, but if you want to know them, of course. There is another question. We have like 1 minute and a half left. Yeah.
I wanted to know also if you have like, I can speak louder anyway. I just wanted to know if also you have some lending initiatives, so like in your respective markets, or like aside from purely the exchange or some of the elements in terms of on-ramp, off-ramp, if there's some sort of a larger type of service you're offering.
Okay. All right. So we recently launched something called ByCryptoPlater. So we but everything still stays on the platform, right? So we give you some money. So when you come on the platform and say you want to borrow some Celo right now, and you don't have enough money to purchase that Celo, so we give you that Celo in your wallet. And when you have enough money, you pay us back that money with a certain percentage interest, and we give you back your Celo. So you have to pay us back in stable currency, yeah, at the value of which you borrowed. So I'm glad to say that currently we're the only ones in the African market doing this, and like it's a first. So we're still scaling the product, but it's also going pretty well. We hope to add some lending features to it too, where maybe you have the Celo and you want to lend to someone, and when it makes a profit, he sells, you also make a profit or something. But those are like initiatives we're thinking around. Yeah.
From the educational side, I'm very big on like university aspects and getting towards the students within that generation that's really pushing all this fintech that we see within the African region. So I've been working with Olu from Celo, from going to different universities and creating like a university alliance for different education programs and hackathons. But from the like an institutional aspect, we have a custody and like treasury type of beta that we're doing in the background for like high net worth individual Africans that want to like store their capital or cash to earn different type of yields. So that's still in testing, but it's going to be a great year. So we'll see.
Thank you.
We're looking into lending right now. Honestly, we're very focused on positioning as one of the best on and off ramps for Latin America. But if you're interested in something like building something like lending for Latin America, it would be great for us to have partners and integrate some protocols into our platform. So that's a pretty nice idea right there.
Yeah, at least from my side in Colombia, there's a market of chart-longs take a market of $700,000 per day. So it's like we actually kind of want to have this kind of protocols or like new ways of financial inclusion in terms of credit and lend. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you to the panelists and thank you.
Thank you.